Start the recording. Okay, we are recording. So guys, thank you so much for getting on here tonight. Those who are already on and those who are going to join us or watch this later. I'm Kendall Boyd for those who I have not met. And I am so excited tonight because we have Emerald Ambassador Joy Cheramie joining us. And I actually, a few years ago when my sister and I went to Leaders Retreat, or it wasn't Leaders Retreat, it was our first convention. And we got set at the table with this woman at Winter's Dinner. And her and Rachel, of course, you guys were joined at the hip that night. Rachel is kind of her power partner in this business. And that night, they were so sweet. They just started pouring into my sister and I and told us about the ups and downs of this business, how you can feel like things are going great and then get really discouraged and feel like it's going nowhere and kind of lose hope in it. And they just encouraged us no matter what to stick it out and that it's worth it no matter how fast you go, how slow you go, the emotional roller coaster that comes along with it, that it's worth it to stick it out. And I know, you don't even know how much that helped me, that newbie coming in, to hear that, because I had never been in network marketing. I had never done this before. And so I didn't know what to expect. I just had hoped that somehow it could help me and help my family. So I really, really thank you. And we just, we don't know how much we impact people with our words and with the things that we say. And sometimes just that little word of encouragement can go a long way. So I was very excited when she said that she would join us tonight. So now you guys get to hear all her wisdom, no pressure. But go ahead and take it away, Joy. I'd love to hear your story.
Well, I really appreciate you inviting me to come on and share with you guys. And we had a great time that evening, but I honestly had no idea how much it had impacted you until you messaged me a week or so ago. So I appreciate you reaching out to let me know, because, it's encouraging to hear that. Even though it's 2 years later, it's great to know that you still remember that night and that I said some things, because I felt like, what did I say? But you're right. As long as we stay positive and upbeat, we are making a difference in other people's lives, even when we don't realize it. So I appreciate you letting me know that. That was great. So, do you want me to just tell my little story?
Yeah, just kind of how Plexus kind of how it fell into your lap and kind of how that got started, just what it's done for you guys, health-wise, business-wise, really anything that you want to hit on. But then we would love some of your top business tips on just what you've kind of learned over this journey and what's just really stuck with you and helped you grow and reach your goals. And so all of that.
Okay, very good. Well, March 15th, 2011 is my sign-up date. 2 months before that, a friend of mine that we had done another network marketing company years before, actually, started hounding me. She messaged me. I had a Facebook account, but only to stalk my grandkids' pictures. I never, ever went on Facebook. But she would send me private messages on Facebook and emails and text messages and voicemails. And I just kept ignoring her because I just was in a spot. I was turning 50 years old, and I felt like I was going to be 50 in May. And I'm like, you know what? I am so over the battle of the weight and all of this. I just need to learn how to be content with whatever hand I've been dealt and quit bucking it, kind of thing. So I was in that spot for about 2 seconds in my life until March 6th, my daughter got married on a cruise. So anyway, meanwhile, my friend has been hounding me to the point that she even looked up some of my relatives and said, hey, if you see Joy, let her know that I've been trying to get in touch with her. And I'm like, tell her I'm quite aware. And what part does she not get that I am ignoring her? So that is the honest to goodness truth. And we tease about it and we've shared about it in meetings together. And now I am so grateful for her tenacity that she did not give up. And she told me, she says, girl, I wasn't going to quit till you looked me eyeball to eyeball and told me yourself that you were not interested. She wasn't even accepting. I'm sorry.
Is that Rachel?
No, Rachel's not. Rachel's under me.
Okay.
Her name's Gina Foray. She's a Diamond Ambassador, and she's very quiet. So you're not going to see her a lot on the pages and stuff. So anyway, she was hounding me, And I was ignoring it because I wasn't ready. Well, my daughter got married on that cruise, and we're on the way back from getting home from the port. I'm looking through the cameras, my daughter's camera, and I'm deleting all the fat pictures of myself, you know, and I'm looking at myself and I'm like, who am I kidding? I can't just be okay with this. I have to do something about this. And besides that, I was feeling horrible. I have Hashimoto's, which those of you that don't know is an autoimmune condition that causes hypothyroidism. But y'all, I gained 15 pounds in 7 days on that cruise. And not because I ate like a pig, just because I was eating a lot of preservatives and stuff that my body didn't like. So I'm like, who am I kidding? I can't just be okay with this. I can't give up. So guess who I called the second I got home? That friend. I never spoke to her, not once. I mean, I would see what she was doing, and Plexus had just hit our community, so it was like flooding our community. I mean, you saw a yard sign on every corner, and every other car, it seems like, had a Plexus magnet on the door, and it was flooding our community. But anyway, I said, you know, there's got to be something to that. Not that many people would be excited about something that wasn't working. So, like I said, I had dabbled a little bit in network marketing, but never anything big time, you know? So, I called her and I said, okay, I'm in. I didn't even ask any questions about the product or anything. How does it taste? It didn't matter. None of that mattered. If it worked, it worked. And if it didn't, well, at least I'd have to try it, you know? So I said, I'm in, and you know, I want to buy wholesale because it's what I do. I've signed up for everything, not to sell it just because I'm cheap and I want the best price. So I said, what does it take to sign up? She says, girl, you're never going to believe it. $35. I'm like, what? And you get product? She said, well, no, but you do get product at a deeply discounted rate when you first sign up. So anyway, she explained that. So long story short, I said, well, sign me up. I said, but I'm only going with you if you have some product to give me tonight, because I'm starting tomorrow. So if you don't, I'm going to find whoever has some to give me tonight. She says, girl, come over. She lives about 20 minutes from me. Now, I had people that live 2 minutes from me doing Plexus, but she's the one that had hounded me for 2 months. So it was only right for me to call her. So I did. And she says, yeah, come on over. So I drove up to her house about 9:30 that night. And she gave me probably, I don't remember exactly, but probably 7 days, 7 sticks of Slim and 7 accelerators. Back then, that's what we did, Slim and accelerate, you know. And so anyway, while I waited for my shipment to come in. So, because I was starting tomorrow with her or whoever could hook me up tonight. And that's just my personality. So, anyway, long story short. So the next day, I mixed my little bottle of Slim and I chased my accelerator with my first swig of Slim. And so I'm doing what you have to do when you're just coming back from being gone for a week and I have a million things going on and I'm feeling terrible because I'm so lethargic from eating poorly and all of this story. 30 minutes after that first dose, I felt like Superwoman. And because of all my health conditions, I never ever felt satisfied. So since I could remember, since I was a small child, I lived in one of two modes. I was given into it and eating all the carbs and the stuff that I was craving for and wanting it. And then I felt terribly emotionally about myself, my self-esteem, and physically. I just felt so lethargic. My body does not process those carbs at all ever since I'm a child. So, or I was in the other mode and I was white knuckling it and I was just not going to give in to those temptations and I was going to white knuckle it, which you know how white knuckling it makes you miserable and everybody around you miserable. So anyway, 30 minutes after that first dose, I felt satisfied for the first time that I could remember in my whole adult life. I felt uninterested in food. That was a foreign feeling to me. Years before that, I'm going to hurry up and give the abbreviated version of my story, but I think it's important for us to hear these testimonies. And I think that's what happens to some of us that's been in for a long time. If you don't keep hearing the testimonies, you get unplugged and you start losing some of your passion. It's very important, guys. Listen to those Wednesday night recorded corporate calls, it is important to hear those 2 new testimonies every month. And especially since on Facebook, we don't see the details of the testimony as much as we used to. So it's important because of compliance issues, but it's important to hear the testimonies and what it's really done for people. So anyway, I felt satisfied for the first time ever. But I lived at the weight of 260 pounds for over 10 years of my life. And 6 years before this, I managed to lose 120 pounds on another product that the FDA took an ingredient away and it was never the same. But anyway, even without my product, I kept the weight off for 6 years, white knuckling it. For 6 years, kept the weight off. So even at a lower weight, those cravings and that lack of satiety was always with me. I just refused to give into it. So when I developed Hashimoto's, which was probably 5 years after I lost my weight, I started gaining weight back. It didn't matter how much I exercised, how well I ate, just the weight kept creeping up. And when I started Plexus, I had managed to gain half of the 120 pounds that I had lost 6 years before. So when I started Plexus, I was 60 pounds up from where I wanted to be. But anyway, so I was totally satisfied and I lost 26 pounds in 5 weeks. So, and 2 sizes. This is the story about that. I have lost 25, 26 pounds so many times in my life, more than any human being should have to. I joined Weight Watchers the first time with my mom when I was 8 years old, literally. I always hated being fat. It bugged me. I never could embrace it, even as a child. And so this was a battle, a lifetime battle. When I say a lifetime battle, a lot of people say that loosely, but I don't know very many people that begged their mom to join Weight Watchers at the age of 8. So that's my story. So when I tell you I battled weight all my life and lack of feeling satisfied my entire life until March 15th, 2011. So anyway, since then I have quality of life back. I don't live in a mode of lethargy anymore. I have gained, I missed the part. So 2 sizes. I have lost 25 pounds so many times, but never was it enough to go down a size because the next size was still too tight. My clothes fit better, but it wasn't enough for a size. So this time I lost 26 pounds and went down 2 entire sizes from a 14 to a 10. And when I tell you that was mind-boggling to me, it's like, what is this stuff? How did that happen? So I started doing research on the product and learning how amazing it really was and how it really works in your body and stuff. But 5.5 years, guys, I drink Plexus every single day. I have gained some weight and lost some weight in the 5.5 years, but I never gave up on Plexus. I have been consistent with my product and I have had an immense quality of life that I never had before Plexus and I would not have now without Plexus. So anyway, that's a little bit of my testimony, personal testimony about Plexus. So the day I signed up, I told her, yeah, I want to sign up and I want the big welcome pack because I looked at the numbers and it was the best bargain. So I'm thinking, worst case scenario, I'm getting 3 combos for the price of 2. It'll take at least 3 months for me to know that, but if I could get 2 friends to jump on board with me, then I'd have some accountability partners and I get some of my startup money back. Remember, I told you how cheap I was. So if it didn't work for me, I wouldn't be out so much money, you know? So I set out on Facebook that I didn't have a whole lot of friends on. And I put a note on there and I said, I'm jumping on this pink train that's running through our town, and I figured we'll never know if it works unless we try it. So I'm trying it, and I'm looking for a couple of good friends to try it with me. Well, the first day, I had 7 people saying, I'm going to try it with you, Joy. But I only had 2 combos. So back then, we used to do a lot of hand-to-hand retail. I didn't know about all the ordering online and all the way we do business now. So, we used to buy these what we called high rollers, and it came with 7 combos. So anyway, I was in business actually made a profit my very first day of being with Plexus. So after that, it was history, because I'm a business girl, and I've always owned my own business. I'm very entrepreneurial by spirit, and it was just a perfect fit. And when I started really looking into the comp plan, and I mean, when I said yes to Plexus, I had no intention to do the business. I was already running my own business, and I had no extra time. And remember how tired I was? So I really couldn't even think about doing anything else. But I wanted the product, and if I could get a few people on board just to pay for my product, I'd have been good. Well, the Lord had other plans, because like I said, I had 7 customers my first day. So now I had a responsibility to those customers, right? To find out more information and keep them pumped and all of that. So then I just started multiplying and rolling, and I grew an amazing team from that. But let's get to now. What keeps me ticking now? This is what I'm going to tell you. When you are a heart worker instead of a hard worker, and when you concentrate on helping others, and that is truly your first motivation, to help others, that's your motivation over your points at the end of the month, that's your motivation over your next rank advancement, over the next contest, over everything. When first and foremost, your priority in your Plexus business is to help someone else with health, pain, finances, being able to have more quality time with their family, whatever it is, when that is truly your passion and your motivation first, those rank advancements, those earned trips, those bonuses, those contests will just happen. So it's just kind of a little shift in how sometimes we think. You know, we thinking, well, I'm doing it because I need 20 more points to be gold, and I have to be gold, or whatever it is. But no, when you're looking for 4 more people because you have to help someone today, every day, you're looking for who needs help. This is what I know for sure. People every day are on their knees, every day, praying for relief from the battle with weight issues, health issues, pain in their body, and financial issues. And guys, we have the solution to their prayer. You know, God uses us as vessels to answer people's prayers. Plexus is the answer to what they need. They just don't know it yet until we share the information. So that's my motivation every day, that I know I am going to be the answer to someone's prayer. So with that motivation and keeping that in mind, I reach out to people every day, just searching for who it is I'm supposed to help today. So I'm not here to tell them all the information or to convince them that this is what they need. I'm just here. It's just my obligation, and I like that word. It's my God-given obligation to share the information. And I set a goal to share the information with 5 new people every day. It's not comfortable for me to reach out to someone I don't know well in a message or an email or in person when I'm at the store or the post office. It's not real comfortable for me. I mean, it's comfortable for me to just say, hey girl, how you doing, or whatever, but to actually bring Plexus, even 5.5 years later, guys, it's not comfortable, but it's my obligation, because I don't know. They might look like Barbie or the perfect picture of fitness because they just come in from the gym, but what you don't know is they're dealing with IBS and anxiety and other issues that are not visible on the outside. Or maybe their mom's dying with diabetes and they need this information. So I like to say to people, have you ever considered doing something alongside your family or your other activities to make extra income? I love to lead with the business first. That there's that thought. And some people say, oh, no, girl, that's not for me or whatever. Then I say, well, have you ever had an experience with Plexus? Some people, oh, I heard of it, or, oh, I've tried it a long time ago. Really? How long ago was that? And the conversation just starts. You know, if they say no, I ask them if they'd like to, because I'd love to send them a sample. Just a stick pack. I'm not mailing out $10 3-days for every Mary, Sue, and Jane. I'm not. So I do sometimes. I'm not saying I never do, but I will send a stick pack to every single person that's interested in trying it, because then it opens a dialogue and I can continue conversing with that person. So I'll say, hey, if it's local, because I saw them in my local post office yesterday, it's local. So I'll send her a message. Hey, Susie, I stuck an envelope in your mailbox today, or in your, you know, inside your door or something like that. So let me know when you try it tomorrow. I want to know what you think about it. Stuff like that. And then it opens a conversation where along that conversation, I'll give them some more information. And usually that happens pretty quick in a couple of days, you know. But I don't, at the post office, try to tell them everything I know about Plexus. I just try to get them interested in wanting to know more so that we can set a time to talk within the next 24, 48 hours, or for me to send them some more information or something like that. So my goal is to reach out to 5 new people every day. Now, I have a lot of new conversations always going on in Facebook, you know, just commenting on people that like distant friends or something, to try to get a little more engaged with them. That those people that I'm doing that with this week is going to be one of my 5 maybe in 2 weeks from now, after we've had a little bit conversation. So the goal is to reach 5 every day, new people. This is what I know for sure. This is what I learned. You know what? My first few months, all I needed to do was post on Facebook, and people were messaging me and calling me in numbers that I couldn't even keep up with. But there comes a time where that slows down, and we have to do a little bit heart work and reach out to see who needs our products and our business opportunity. So you have to consistently be reaching out to new people to consistently grow and rank up. And we will grow and we will rank up, and our paychecks grow when our main focus is who can we help next. So I also want to say that recently I was challenged to do a 21-day gratitude, where I say 3 things every day that I'm grateful for. And I have to tell y'all, I'm not all about this positive thinking and positive affirmations. It's not my personality to be all about that. But guys, it's real. It is life-changing. It is energizing. It is, you know, just kind of like, you can't say I have a list in my head. It brings life to it when you actually write it on the paper. Write your list down, write your thoughts down. It brings life to it. Same thing with the positive affirmations, or what you're grateful for. And you know what? It changes your whole perspective on your day, on your life. And I've just been doing it a couple of weeks, but I want to challenge every one of you, and also to reach out to one person to make them feel appreciated and special or fabulous in some kind of way every day. So on top of my whole DMO of what I do with my Plexus business, I've added this, and I want to tell you, it is making the rest of my DMO so much easier. It just comes natural when you're in that attitude of being grateful. So, you know, that's not a newsflash to any of us. We all know how important it is to list the things we're grateful for, but it's so easy to get away from it and to stop doing it. So I want to challenge each one of you guys to start tomorrow. We love to start things on Monday, right? I love that this call is on a Sunday night, but it wouldn't matter if it was Wednesday or Thursday, or it didn't matter. I want to challenge each one of you to start tomorrow and say, and whether you want to put it on your Facebook wall or you want to make a journal, I'm just going to say, if you tell it to someone else, it becomes even bigger, and do it consistently on your wall. That's even bigger. But if you choose to do it privately, that's up to you. It still will have a huge impact on your life. So write down 3 things. And look, I know that sounds unrelated to your Plexus business, but I promise you, it will very directly impact your Plexus business in a huge way. You will be quite surprised in the difference it makes. So I want to challenge you guys to do it. And if we're not friends on Facebook, reach out to me. And I want to ask you all to send me a message or something on my wall or a private message in 21 days and tell me, hey, Joy, I took you up on that challenge, and this is what it did for me. Would you guys commit to doing that for me, with me? Good, good. I appreciate that, because I'm just, like I said, I'm not all about the positive thing, but guys, it's for real, and you can't argue with, my saying is the proof is in the pudding. Well, I'm telling you, from day one, it just makes a difference in your entire disposition and how you posture yourself throughout your day and in your messaging and in your Facebook posting and everything. So as far as business, consistency is the key. You know, Alfred Patterson taught us in the early days of Plexus that you could do this business part-time or you could do it full-time, but you cannot do it sometimes. You have to decide when you're working your Plexus business, how much time you're going to devote to your Plexus business. And it has to be priority. Whether it's, I could only do 2 hours a week, or 30 minutes every day, or I'm going to do 4 or 5 hours every day. Whatever you choose to do, do it. Write it down, make a commitment, make it priority, and do it consistently. And I promise, when you give yourself hours or time slots that I want to do at least 2 hours each day or something like that, it brings life to it, and it makes all the difference. If you just bounce through life and hope an opportunity bumps into you, yeah, you won't be nearly as successful. That'll be the slow boat to China. But if you go through your day, through your life with intention that I'm looking for the next person that I can help, and then when you sit down to do your Facebook messaging, your posting, your emails, your calls, and you have set times for that kind of work, you will see your business take a complete turnaround. So anyway, Kendall, I'm not sure what else. I could talk for hours. I know you guys.
No, that's awesome. I mean, and something I was thinking about today that you hit on is setting yourself business hours. And I don't know if you have specific business hours you set for yourself, but like, I mean, for those who don't know, I'm a homeschooler. So I have 4 kids. I homeschool. We have 4 kids in sports. We have 4 kids in music, and it's just crazy. And so I've literally had to set my work hours, because we all have crazy lives. I mean, I think every single person on here I know of either is home with your kiddos full-time or you have a full-time job. And it's impossible if you don't tell yourself, no matter what, I am going to make this work because I want this to happen for me. I want this to happen for my family. I want this to happen for my future. And, it's a real thing for me. And I started day one as a new ambassador as well, just like we all do. We all start from the very beginning, no experience, no people doing this under us, and we have to decide what we want it to be. And it does take work. And so going back to your heart work, I love the heart work. And my cousin, she reached out to me for a year on Facebook. She had no clue that I had serious health issues going on. I mean, I was literally in and out of the hospital on tons of medication. I had 6 doctors. Like, she had no clue I had all that going on because I was private about it. And she's a very, very private person. She's a very insecure person, a very shy person. And she reached out to me. And I think if we can remember back to the time when we joined, like, how did your person reach out to you, and did you ignore them? I'm sure most of us ignored them for at least a month or 2. I ignored her for a year, and she still pursued me. And it turned out to be the biggest answered prayer not just health, but it answered, of course, my health prayers that I prayed for every day on my knees in tears to God that I needed some kind of answer from the pain I was in. But, our financial prayer, we were 2 months away from foreclosing on our house. And guess what? We kept our house. And, being an at-home mom, I'm not lonely anymore. I have friendships and friends I talk to every single day. I have a purpose now of helping people. I'm not just mom and wife. I have a purpose. And so when we can go back to thinking of why we're doing this and, then reach out to people with that mindset instead of, we do get caught up on the ranks and the points, and you need your paycheck to be this certain amount, and leaders retreat and all that, and contests. And so I loved it, girl. You're speaking to my heart. I love it. So I do have one question for you. If you, learning what you've learned over the last few years doing this, if you could tell your new ambassador self something, what would be the biggest thing you think you've learned from all this that you wish you knew in the beginning? It's a hard one, I know.
Because you saying I wish I knew from the beginning, but I did know it from the beginning. From the very first week, I knew that this helped people, and it was my purpose, my obligation. I felt that right away. The first week, I really felt that it was my obligation to share this. It really, really impacted people's health. I wasn't so much about the business and the financial part in the beginning. And I always led with, I actually never really talked much about the business in the beginning. That is the one thing I think different now than before, is that I always lead with the business. Mm-hmm. And then I've learned that, but for me, I just wanted the products. I didn't want the business. I was not interested. The business just happened because I got so passionate and excited about the products and what they were doing for me. And I just started I went into the archives of those Wednesday night calls, and I would listen to them over and over every day when I was in my shop doing my other business, that they were playing constantly. And I could not get enough of the information. And so if I had to say one thing, it's share the business with everyone first. If they're really not interested in the business, be totally okay with that. And then talk about the products and say, this may or may not be for you, but I'm sure someone that's suffering with health issues, weight battle, pain in their body, or financial struggle. And Plexus is delivering in a huge way. I'd love to share it with you or with whoever you think needs it. So people are very open when you share like that, and they don't feel like you're just trying to get the sale. When people feel that, and when you make your priority to help people first, and you just let the rank advancement and the contest and all take care of themselves, you will see that you will get a better response when you're speaking to people, because people feel that vibe. They know it. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you this. When you're setting goals, and Kendall, you may not agree with me, because this is a total opposite of what we've done from the beginning. We set all our contests, we set our goals to how many people you signing up, When you set your goals to how many people, new people you're reaching out to, that's hard work. And those numbers will just happen. So I'm changing my contests and my challenges to my new people. I'm just challenging them to reach out to so many new people. And I say 5, that's what I choose. Some people are comfortable with 2. Deborah Martin, homeschool mom of 11 children, went to Diamond by setting a goal of reaching out to 2 new people every day, because it's all she had time for. It's all she could fit, but she did it diligently. She tells a story about there was a night that she went to bed and she laid her head on her pillow and realized, oh mercy, I only reached out to 1. And this is how committed she was. She got out of bed, went back to the computer, and sent somebody else a message, because that's how committed she was to her goal that she set for herself of 2 a day. And that took that woman to Diamond.
Yeah. Well, and consistency is so important. And I feel like we get caught up on the Facebook posting, which Facebook posting, I mean, it is important to share what we're doing and educate people on the products and let them know why it'd be beneficial for them. That's great. We need that. But it is the reaching out. And I am as guilty as the rest of us on when your schedule's crazy, you feel like I got my posting in, I worked my business, I'm good, when really that should be way behind the reaching out to people. Like reaching out to people when you sit down at your computer and you're 5 minutes to work your business, that's step one. Before you answer messages from people, before you get your Facebook posting in, you reach out to your 1 or 3 or 5 or 10 or however many you do. That's what you got to do. That's step one to help, not just grow your business, but change lives. And I love the reminder. So that's what I need going into my crazy week, like to keep in the front of my mind is that we are changing lives. We are, and it's easy to forget that. And
Kendall, how many people have you spoke to, or how many people you know in your team, and you see them posted on their wall very consistently and good posts, but they're just not growing? You know why? They're not reaching out to anybody. They're never going in to really say, hey, would you like to try Plexus? What if Plexus could change your life like it changed mine? They're never having that conversation with anyone. Mm-hmm. So Facebook posting is absolutely necessary, and we need to be consistent on our page every day. We really, really need to be consistent, and we need to mix it up. And there's a whole nother training about how to do Facebook effectively. But it is a very important part. But it's only that. It's a part. It's not where you are not growing your business on your Facebook wall. But you also probably won't grow your business without that part. But that's not where your business grows. Your business grows in the PMs. Mm-hmm. That's where you grow your business. So that is just a means to the end, right? That's just the place to open the conversation. So when somebody ask you something, so what is this? Say, hey, Susie, it's all natural, whatever your little 30-minute spiel is, whatever you like to say that and say, I'll send you a private message with more information. So then go to the message and say, hey, Susie, I could send you some more information, but I much prefer talking to you. Is it a good time for me to call you? Or whatever. Some people like to have their whole conversation. I'm just going to tell you, in my opinion, old school, in my opinion, people cannot hear your passion in a typed out message. If you could get someone on the phone, or better yet in person, but I mean, that's not very practical for most cases. But if you could get people on a phone call, you raise your odds of them saying yes by a huge percentage, because they hear your passion. They hear your heart. Mm-hmm. So,
well, and I also feel like so many times when we reach out to somebody in a private message, like I can't tell you how many times I've had this conversation in the last month alone. People feel like there's magic words that you're supposed to have. They're like, well, what do I say? How do I talk to them about Plexus? And and it again goes back to that doing the heart work. Like there are no magic words to this, because guys, all you're doing is sharing about why you're doing it, what it's done for you, you've seen it do for others. And we're planting the seeds of hope in people. And I knew that's all I needed, the seeds of hope planted in me. So that when I did get desperate and I got to the point where I felt like I had tried modern medicine and I was, at my wit's end, those seeds of hope that Heather had sowed in me when she shared Plexus with me, that was what I thought about, and that was who I turned to. So no magic words. Don't let that stress you out. You just speak from your heart why you're doing this and that you would love for them to try it. And samples go a long way. I agree with you there. I think my first year, 80% of my business was grown on samples. So, and Rena will love this, me calling her out, because she's the queen of the one stick, I'm the queen of the 3-day trial. It's pretty expensive that way. So Rena's like, I don't got time for that. So she sends one stick. So yeah, I thought of her when you said you did that.
Hey, Rena, nice to meet you. You are right. There are no magic words, but Kendall, some of our new people just don't know They're just not sure. So I like to share sample messages with my team periodically, you know.
We have quite a few of those.
Yeah. And so I tell that new person, go find this file in our group page or something like that. You know, you'll find some sample messages. It needs to be your own. I do not want you to copy and paste it. I need it to be your own. But it gives them an idea, because I'm actually right now working with a language coach, because I am the person, I know when I'm sitting here talking to you, I could go on and on and on and on. And that's why I'm so adamant about getting someone on a phone call, because I freeze up when it comes to typing out a message or writing a message. I don't know what to say. And so I find myself rattling on. And when I read it back, it's like, oh, that sounds confusing. I got this backwards. And I'm just terrible with that. I am terrible with it. So I really appreciated other people sharing their sample messages with me so that I can make it my own. You know, I was helping my daughter cook today. We started clean eating again. I started a week ago. She's jumping on board tomorrow. So I was helping her prep for the week. And I just lost my train of thought of where I was going to go with that.
Okay, especially on Sunday nights.
Yeah, right. Where was I going with that? What did I say? About the sample.
Oh,
about the sample. Anyway, I don't know. I just appreciate the recipes. I never follow a recipe exactly like it is, but I like to be refreshed of what needs to go in this thing, and then I pick it up and put my own and add a little of this or that. So the sample message is kind of like a recipe. You know, I am a cook. I was a caterer for 21 years. So it's my forte to cook. So I love to make everything my own. So I'm not so good with the written word. So anyway, I like to take someone else's message or some idea that somebody gave me, and then I could say, oh, that's exactly what I wanted to say, you know?
Yeah, I just want people to get away from that fear. Like, I know when I started, so my cousin was already Emerald when I started. And so when I did, I kept having that thought, like, if I just knew what she was sending to people, then I would be successful with this, you know? And so, like, if I wasn't having success, I would look at all those jewels and think, if I just knew what they were sending, what their secret message is, then I would, you know, be able to be successful too. And I feel like so many people feel that, and it paralyzes us in our action. And so, yes, we have many sample messages out there, but it is about just remembering, you take that sample message, but you are speaking to a person. You're speaking to your friend, or for me, it was old high school friends that I hadn't talked to in 20 years, but they're still a person. And I realized I'm helping this person by offering them this. So if you can take that outline, but speak from the heart, ask about their kids, connect with them on that heart level. And you don't have to worry about the rest. Either they're going to do it, they're not. Maybe you're planting a seed that'll grow in 2 years, but just work on remembering why we're doing this and speaking to their heart. And I feel like it just grows that passion behind you sending that message. So I love that. You're talking about that. Okay. Well, I know we have held you longer than I told you we would. So thank you. I know I could probably let you keep talking too, but but we really appreciate you joining us. I just love hearing from you. So you are so wise. I love getting all your business tips since you've been doing this a little bit longer than me. So, but guys, I'm so glad all of you joined us. I know it's late on Sunday nights. These are hard to get onto, but I like doing these Sunday nights because we go into our week knowing where we need to focus, our mind, our heart, everything is focused for the next week. So, Joy, thank you so much. You're such a sweetheart.
Thanks for asking me on. I appreciate the invite.
Yes. Well, I'm going to stop